This is going to be a 2-for-1 video. I have two long take monologues. I'm going to try to do them both in one take. Just a pause in between the two, like a cut in between the two. But the first one's titled Game Within a Game, another entry in the Dread Prometheus journal. You ever wonder if you're not just inside a simulation, but in a simulation inside a simulation? I don't mean just some sci-fi metaphor, I mean literally. You put the VR headset, step into a digital world, you forget for a while that your body is still out there, slouched in a chair, but now imagine this, you're inside that VR game, and within that world, there's another headset, another layer, another world. You put that one on. Now you're 2 layers deep, fully immersed. You're walking, talking, feeling pain, love, rage. Everything feels real. Then something happens. You die in game 2, but you don't wake up. You don't respond in game 1. You just keep going. Because maybe game 2 becomes game 1, and game 1 became your reality, and the real world gone. Or maybe you never left game 2 at all. Maybe you never left any of it. Maybe every time you think you're waking up, you're just waking up into another game. So how would you know what tests would prove to you that you're really out? If every wake up feels as real as the last, if your senses adapt, if your memories realign, if your logic bends to fit the walls of whatever loop you're in, what does real even mean anymore? Ready Player One shows a society that escaped into VR to hide from the rot of the real world. Real world. The Matrix flipped it, said maybe this life is the VR, but if they're both wrong, or worse, what if they're both right? Maybe we built the simulation to escape, only to be locked inside of it. It's simulation, a loop, self-sustaining, infinitely recursive dream, and maybe every so often someone starts to remember, gets a flash, deja vu glitch, and they ask the same question, am I still in the game? The machine doesn't panic, it doesn't need to, because it's designed for this. It gives you a quest, a purpose, a reason to stay. A cause, a love, an enemy, a war. It tells you this is real, fight for it, so stay. So you stay. You stay in because the loop isn't just software, it's psychological prison. The most brilliant part, it doesn't matter if it's real, it matters if you believe it. So ask yourself, if you woke up tomorrow and nothing felt real, would you ever know, or would the game just keep going? The loop inside the loop. You ever sit there just staring at the wall or at the ceiling at your own reflection and you feel like a little weird pull in the back of your brain, like something isn't quite right? Not wrong enough to panic, just wrong enough to notice. Like the air feels heavier than it should, or like your memories rearrange themselves when you weren't looking. Like maybe this isn't your first time being you. Like maybe you've done this exact day before, not deja vu, not a dream, something else, a loop, a layer, a groundhog day. Like you're deep in a video game, but you forgot you were playing. Like you took off the headset only to find another headset underneath. You take that one off and it just keeps going, and it kept going. Game inside a game, simulation inside a simulation, and reality so perfectly nested that you can't tell which layer you're actually in anymore. See, reality and Ready Player One gave us a society that escapes reality through VR. They jack in to get away from poverty, lack of necessity, decay, disappointment, and you get it. You understand life out here is hard, life out there is hard, and world in there is built for you. The engineers of happiness. That's what a game dev is. But then the Matrix comes along and says, nah, the whole thing, this life, your job, your bills, your 9 to 5, this is the simulation. The VR is just another dream inside the first dream. But what if they're both right? What if the loop never ends? What if right now you're living inside game 2, and when you sleep you're in game 3, and when you die in game 3 you wake up in game 2, and then thinking that's the real world, but it's just another hallway or halfway? And the real you long gone, trapped somewhere back in game 1, or worse, frozen in a chair in the real world, drooling on a desk like some cold lab where nobody's checked in your vitals in years. You think you'd know? You think the people in the game will let you figure it out? Nah, they've built distractions, algorithms, narratives. They give you a life with just enough struggle to keep you too tired to ask questions, just enough pleasure to keep you from wanting to leave. They feed you missions, chase the job, chase the body, chase the dollar, chase the clout. If you do start asking too many questions, they throw you a cause, a war, a romance, a heartbreak, something to pull over your eyes, pull your eyes back down so you never think to look up. I mean, really, what is up anymore? What's the line between real and artificial, when both make you cry and make you bleed and make you believe? That's the trick. The loop doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be good enough to stop you from asking, good enough to make you feel something. And when you feel something, you believe it. And when you believe it, you stay. So maybe the glitch in the Matrix isn't a bug. We have to test. They filter. They want to see if you're paying attention, see if you'll go deeper, if you'll plug back in and go quiet like everyone else. You ever think maybe you passed the test, and maybe that's why you're hearing this right now? Maybe why this message even feels like a message, not a rant, because deep down in that part of your mind, you keep locked up. You already know something's wrong. You know the loop is real. You know the game doesn't end with a boss fight. It ends with you choosing to stop playing. But how do you stop playing a game that feels like life? You can't take the headset off if you don't even know you're wearing one. So maybe the point isn't to escape. Maybe the point is to remember you're in it. And then choose who you are in the game. Be the glitch. Be the anomaly. Be the one who knows. Because the second you know, the second you stop believing their rules apply to you, you've already broken the loop. Now tell me this, if tomorrow feels the same as today, if the sky is still blue and your hands still work and people still lie, how will you know if you're still in the game? Maybe you won't, but maybe that's the point. Judge Prometheus, over and out.